So Lively Lane up in Dallas is the first certified PHI residential project in Texas, as I understand it. And it was really a fantastic project to work on. Whenever we're working on a project that's really going for gold in terms of energy efficiency and health, it's critical to have a whole team working together. You kind of need a team leader. In this case, it was the Fagin partners, father and son, class act. They've been building in Dallas, I think, for something like 15 years, maybe more. So they were really the leaders and the integrators for the project.
We read about passive houses and we really liked the idea of what a passive house is, and Connor was getting out of school and we decided to work together to build one. And so this is the first one that we've built. In a nutshell, passive house is a much more efficient home than a code-built home. Some of the benefits are that the air quality is extremely high. So it's a very healthy home for people that have asthma or allergies or other breathing disorders. It's a very comfortable home because of the whole mechanical system set up and how it deals with humidity. So it's very even temperatures throughout the home and on the different surfaces of the home. And then it's also a very durable home just because of the way it has to be built to meet the model with all the insulation and everything else. So
yeah, it's really interesting because even before we broke ground on this house, it was modeled out in a passive house efficiency model, and literally it'll take into account all kinds of things like the shading from trees around the site, the orientation of the house on a north-south axis. It'll put into the model the heat gain from the windows, so you have to kind of sometimes pick and choose windows on certain sides of the house that would take on more heat than others. Before we even broke ground, they had an idea of how much energy this house would use, and sure enough, it has been almost right on the nail.
We started building homes on this block and we kind of called it the Lively Project, and the goal was to see if we could kind of take the energy efficiency to the next level. I didn't even know about passive homes at that time. A home buyer expects certain things in a new home besides energy efficiency, so could we do those things and some more energy efficient things to make the houses better performing and still make the numbers work? So then when I heard about passive homes, I just thought, man, I need to do that. And so Connor, let's do this together.
Yeah.
They had an architect who was from New York, so the architect was not present in this case. We also worked with the area manager, Jen Peak.
I was actually doing some lead follow-up, and I noticed that Kyle Fagin had not gotten the information he was looking for. So I gave him a call and just said, hey, is there any questions I can answer for you? And he said, I was wanting to do a whole home with Mitsubishi, and I was super excited about that. And then even more super excited when he said, it's a passive house.
And she was able to recommend an installing contractor, Mike Novotny.
I got involved. Jen called me up one day and she said, I got a project I want you to look at. She sent me over the plans and I started looking over the project. After I hung up the phone, I had a good feeling about them and what their needs and wants were.
And with that team assembled, we were really able to work through some of the challenges presented by these really high efficiency building standards.
Our first meeting, our goal was just to get the information from the Fagins and find out, what do the plans look like and what can we do as far as, designing the HVAC system for them. But due to Kimberly's extensive knowledge, she was really an asset to this project to help us with not just the HVAC, but other issues that come into play with a passive house, such as the tight envelope and the tendency to be humid if you don't bring in the ERV or the dehumidification system.
The ERV, since the house is so tight, it would be very stale air if you didn't bring in fresh air. So the ERV runs at variable speeds, but brings in fresh air 24/7.
And it's interesting because the ERV has sensors and it understands what the outside ambient conditions are. So if it's a humid day, it'll pull in less air than it would on just a clear, crisp day. If it's cooler at night, it'll pull in more air. It'll turn the fan up, it'll pull in more air from the outside to lessen the load on your air conditioner. So it's an intelligent system. It really is neat how all the different systems work together.
Mitsubishi has been great to work with, really helpful on this project.
Extremely helpful and extremely important too, because here in Texas we're a cooling dominated climate. We have, extreme temperatures in the summer and we have, some freezing temperatures in the winter as well. So it was really important that we had an HVAC setup and system that would meet the needs of this house. And Mitsubishi's really helped us, figure that out and figure out the correct balance that's going to keep people comfortable and save them money.